Question came into the Medicare billing group from Katie, so I'm going to answer it here because I know other people will have this question. So Katie said, I feel like I ask questions daily. Hope this helps somebody else. It absolutely does. So keep asking the questions. Katie has a patient, Medicare Advantage plan, figured out that she has to meet a $750 deductible first, then the plan pays 60% and the patient responsibility is 40%. Okay, so let's touch on a couple of these topics first. $750 deductible is totally reasonable. The question is there a separate deductible for out-of-network coverage compared to in-network coverage? Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. So you want to be really aware that if you tell a patient, hey, you've got a $750 deductible, none of which has been met, and the patient says, well, wait, I've had medical services already this year, I've paid my deductible, it could be that they have a separate out-of-network deductible that's different from the in-network deductible. So that's question number one that you probably want to clarify at some point. You also don't want the patient thinking that they're going to meet their deductible with you. Go to find out that they actually have an in-network deductible that hasn't been met separately. After the $750 has been met, it's a 60-40 plan. So 60% of the out-of-network allowed amount is paid by the insurance, 40% of the out-of-network allowed amount paid by the patient or patient responsibility. So what does that mean? Well, if you submit a claim, you use your fee schedule, let's say you're charging $50 a unit for whatever charges you're doing, you submit a claim, 4 units, it's $200 billed rate. Maybe this particular plan, if that claim was processed in network, this plan might allow $72. You bill $200, they allow $72. Okay, the difference between $200 and $72 is the contract adjustment, the discount, that gets wiped away, and then either the patient or the insurance company is going to deal with paying the $72. Out-of-network coverage is usually a little bit higher allowed amount. So let's pretend in this case, the out-of-network allowed amount is $123. You still bill $200. The out-of-network allowed is $123. You will get paid 60% of that $123 from the insurance company, and then the patient will be responsible for the remaining 40%, whatever 40% of $123 is, somewhere around $50-$60. That's going to be the patient responsibility. Now, obviously, you can control patient cost even a little further, since this is a coinsurance, a percentage. And if the patient comes to you and says, I really want to work with you, but I just don't have the financial wherewithal to afford a 4-unit visit, maybe you're willing to do a 1-unit. If you have a brick and mortar, you're not doing mobile, maybe you do a 1-unit visit of whatever is most important for that patient at this time in the plan of care, then it's 40% of a single unit. You know, so you can really influence the cost of care if you're willing to work on your logistics in terms of scheduling. You sell minutes by the unit. So I think it's reasonable that a patient absolutely has the right to say, I can't afford 4 units, I only want to buy 1. Give me the most important single unit that I need, and then I'll do the rest on my own. So just a little food for thought. The main question now, if we keep reading, so she says, so she'll pay us the deductible directly. How does this get applied toward the insurance? Basically what happens, and I think it's hard to understand until you really have seen this process 1,000 times, the insurance company in essence expects you to collect the patient responsibility. You're obligated based on your contract to collect that patient responsibility. You know, the insurance kind of joined into a contract with the patient when the patient bought the plan. The insurance company said, we're going to cover these benefits for this amount of money. And the patient said, okay, that sounds good. I'm going to pay you the monthly premium. Then when you as the provider joined the plan with the insurance company, you said, I'm willing to deliver these services for this amount of money. Now, as an out-of-network provider, depending on whether you accept assignment or not, and that's a topic for a whole different video, in essence, if you're accepting assignment as an out-of-network provider, you're agreeing to the terms of the insurance plan. And so you're saying, you're committing, you're saying, hey, I'm going to do everything within my power to collect the patient responsibility, because if you don't, if you choose to waive copays as standard procedure, you are essentially incentivizing that patient to come to you and utilize their services without paying their fair share, which is a form of insurance fraud when you look at how that financial incentive works. You know, it's no different than you saying, hey, patient, I'm going to give you $50 every time you come to therapy because the insurance company is going to pay me, right? You can't do that. Like, that's totally illegal. Waiving copays, waiving deductibles, not making the effort to collect is just as illegal. Now, you're not under an obligation to send that patient to collections if the patient refuses to pay, but you do have to put in a reasonable effort, document what you've done to collect the money that is owed. But back to Katie's question, how does this get applied to the deductible? The insurance company just assumes you have collected that money. They automatically apply it to the deductible in their system under the expectation and the assumption you've done your part as the provider and collected that money. Plus, they're not paying you. The insurance company is not paying you that money. So if you did choose not to collect the deductible, not charge the patient, not only would it be illegal, but you're also giving that patient a $750 credit that's totally undeserved. And in the insurance company's mind, you are essentially giving a kickback to that patient. So the insurance company assumes you've collected the patient responsibility and automatically applies that. Whether you tell them or not does not matter. Whether you list the payment on the claim or not does not matter. The insurance company automatically assumes you collected the copay, and the insurance company applies that credit in the insurance account so that once that deductible is met, then it switches over to the 60-40 plan in this case, and they will start paying you the 40%. So I hope that I answered that. I think a couple keywords that you need to understand, everybody who's in healthcare, you need to have a basic knowledge. Like, can you explain what an insurance premium is? Can you explain what a deductible is? What is a coinsurance? What is a copay? If you can't speak the basic language, that would be like me as a therapist not understanding what range of motion is, or, you know, how to assess function. Like, you have to. There is no way around it, and there's no excuse that you wouldn't understand at least those 4 terms. So I hope this was helpful. Katie, thank you so much for asking the question. And guys, keep posting your questions in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, there's a link in the YouTube description below. Go ahead and join. It's free. It's for PTs, OTs, and SLPs. I'll catch you on the next video.